Pleasant good morning to one and all. On behalf of the Department of English, Parvati's Arts and Science College, I would like to welcome all the participants to this webinar titled Translation in Practice from Translator's Perspective. So, I welcome Mr. S. Dharmaraj sir to give the welcome address.
Cheerful morning to all who are present here. I am very happy to welcome all of you for participating webinar on translation in practice. In this special occasion, I welcome on behalf of our college. I welcome our management, especially for Rotarian and Sridhar sir. I welcome you. I welcome young director S. Praveen. I welcome you, sir. I am very happy to welcome our principal, sir, Dr. S. Sukumar, who has given the guidance to conduct this program. I welcome you, sir. I welcome our vice principal, sir, Dr. G. Srinivasan, who always motivates us, encourages us to conduct this webinar. I welcome you, sir. I welcome our resource person, Dr. Madam Dharani, for your effective speech. Really, you are a good speaker, an excellent speaker. You are. In your speech, we are inspired to know about many languages, which was written, many script, everything we want to do it in our future. Really, you are role model for us, ma'am. I welcome you, ma'am, today. I welcome our head of the department, Madam Miss Rajalashmi, who has joined us in this occasion. I welcome you, ma'am. I welcome all our faculty members, our technician. I welcome you all. I welcome scholars, faculty, students who has participated and encouraged with us in their grand success. I welcome all of you. Once again, I welcome all of you. Have a nice day.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Good morning, sir. Am I audible? Dharmaraj, sir, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, principal, sir. Good morning, everyone in the Department of English, Parvati's College of Arts and Science. This is the second day of our webinar. Welcome you all back to the webinar. I think you had learned something from yesterday's webinar that talks about the basics of translation. Today's workshop session, as I told you yesterday, we are going to see how it's challenging to start with even with single words. So with this few words, I would like to go to my presentation. Okay, this is the second day. Okay, we'll resume our discussion. This is about the workshop that we are going to do. Yesterday we learned the basics of translation, the theories, the challenges, and everything about translation. Now today we will start with the practical session. That is how far effectively we can make use of translation in our classroom as a paper of translation studies, even otherwise. For the learners of English language, it would be easy to start with translation. But here I have made use of Tamil, English to Tamil. So I could see so many people from Maharashtra, Andhra, Bangalore, and across the country. So you can just imagine, like I'm explaining in English, but still the words in English, you can take it to your classroom and you can try with your own mother tongue and just see the challenges and problems that you face while translating these words. As I told you yesterday, we need translation in all walks of our life. we need translation. Without translation, it is not possible. Maybe you can't be a full-fledged translator, but still, as teachers of English language, we always we go for this grammar translation method sometimes in our classrooms because when you teach ELT, English language teaching in the classroom, we have to make a reference to the methods that were there in the ancient times, since the ancient times till today. We have lots of innovations now in ELT, but earlier they had a common method, that is grammar translation method, that was actually meant for teaching Latin. English people wanted to learn Latin, like how we want to learn English. In the same way, English people, they wanted to learn Latin. Okay, so Latin was very difficult. The grammar was very difficult compared to English. So grammar translation method was meant for teaching Latin to the people of England, English people. So Latin was a language spoken by the Romans, so very powerful language. So English people wanted to learn that, so they had that method. So they followed that method. But every method has its own advantages and disadvantages. So when you take grammar translation method, that has got its own advantages and sometimes demerits also. And when we are teaching English as a second language in our classroom, again, sometimes we can make use of grammar translation method. Yesterday, a madam was asking me, can I translate everything into my mother tongue? That is again one of the disadvantages. You can't take everything into Tamil or your mother tongue. Then the students will learn only the mother tongue very well, not English. So as teachers of English, we should see to it that how far we can use translation. To some extent you can use, but you can't completely translate everything. But as a translator yourself, you can do translation on your own. Either you can translate from English to Tamil or Tamil to English. So another thing I would like to promise here is I will complete it before 11. I'm very sure about it. Okay, I'm sorry yesterday I prolonged because I went deep into the discussion. Okay, so we will go to translation. So yesterday we discussed, so no need to go for theories. So what is translation? You should convey the message, meaning should not be spoiled, and you can follow your own method. Whatever method is applicable to you, you can follow it. Okay, and what are the problems we are facing while translating this kind of words or sentences or emotional literature, poetry or prose, anything. So what is the actual essence of translation? You are carrying on the thought, okay, from one to another, one medium to another medium. So from source language to target language. And first thing is you have to be thorough with both the languages. You can't simply say I'm very thorough with my mother tongue, but I'm not very good at using English language. Then that will be a kind of to some extent minus point. Okay, so you have to be thorough with the nuances of both the languages. English has got its own nuances, okay, its own terms and conditions. And the same way, Tamil has its own ideas that we yesterday saw to some extent. Some of the problem, the structure changes. SVO pattern in English, now SOV pattern in Tamil and in most of the Indian languages. Okay, so now we move on to the workshop. Since it is a virtual workshop classroom, I'm not able to, I can't make you do it, but I'll just give you the option. I'll give you my PowerPoint. You can take the words. These are simply the samples I have taken. There are lots and lots of words. So if you come across such words, then you can use them for translation. So translate these following words into your mother tongue. Maybe in Tamil or in Telugu or in Hindi or in Marathi, whatever it is, you try to translate. I have given you a list of words. Okay, just try bird, fly, tie, sign, very simple words. Okay, don't go for something higher. Start with the basics. These are all very common words that we use in our day-to-day life. Okay, sign, firm, ruler, sink, nail, well, fall. If the students are not able to get the meaning of these words, ask them to refer to a dictionary. Nothing wrong in referring to a dictionary. Ask them to refer to it. Okay, so let them get the meaning. Okay, so now you have got all simple words. I have not gone for even a very lengthy word. Very simple words that we always use in our life. Okay, very commonly we are using them in the classrooms. Okay, even novel, capital, scales, will. Okay, watch. Now, while translating, what happens? Okay, let us see. If it is a workshop, that directly I'm giving you a workshop, you will try. But okay, anyway, you can try. See, first thing, you take the word board. Okay, board, this first word. I'm taking this first word, board. What happens here? While translating, you come upon the problem of the various meanings. Okay, you can't call it synonyms. Synonyms means for the same word you have different words can refer to the same word with different words. Yesterday we were talking about the boat. You have different words, okay, but they have got slightly different points in the object. Here you find the word board. So if you ask a student to translate, or if you translate, what is their board may refer to a just plain board. Okay, this kind of board, even blackboard. We can say blackboard, whiteboard. So do we mean that? Board means plank, beam, timber, whatever it is. Either it can be a wooden one or a plastic one, or in the case of our current technology, we have whiteboard. So what is it? Okay, that is palagai. We call it palagai in Tamil. So when you translate, the other one is we boarded the bus. Okay, board. Here it is used in the previous one. It is used as a noun. The second one, it is used as a verb. Okay, you are boarding the bus. You are boarding the train. Okay, that is ஏறுவது. It comes as a verb. So boarding the bus. Okay. Another point here is lodging. Boarding and lodging. We very commonly we use boarding and lodging. Again, a kind of noun. Okay, you are staying somewhere. Boarding and lodging. You are boarding place. You say. Next one is board of directors. We always say board meeting, board of studies. Okay, very often we use that term. There it doesn't have the meaning palagai. It's got a different meaning. It means a kind of panel, kulu, right? So you can find four kind of, there are lots and lots of meaning. So what happens? What is the problem here? If I give you a single word for translation, the problem comes like this. What is the exact meaning of this particular word? So what is needed here? The context is needed. Where I am using the word board. So ambiguity is there. Okay, other words, just see. If I say fly, do I mean the verb fly, para, or do I mean the insect, e? Okay, how can you translate? Then simple word, fly. If I give a word fly to translate, then the student will ask, fly, is it a verb or a noun? Okay, tie. Tie is actually the tie that we wear with along with blazer. Okay, the other one is tie up. We have tie up, right? So it comes with the kind of phrasal verb, but still tie. I have a tie with the particular institution. So tie, fly, tie. Okay, very simple, but see how difficult it is. Okay, how complex it is. Bat. So when you say bat, you have the bat that the players use. Okay, in the ground, mattai. We call it mattai in Tamil. Vavval, that is bat. Because of bats only, we have got coronavirus. Okay, it's a kind of a bird. Then wave. So when I say wave, I waved at my friends. Okay, waving is not when it comes as a noun. Okay, it is the wave that you find in ocean. The other one is I'm waving at my friends. So kayai asai. So next is ring. So that is again I'll give a ring to you. Tomorrow I'll give a ring to you. It means I'm not giving you a modaram. I'm going to call you. So தொலைபேசியில் alai, you call, make a call is ring because you're ringing. Earlier we had ringing, now we are just a button system, but earlier it was a kind of like ringing. Then modaram, that is your ring. Okay. Then sign. When you sign, okay, signature. That's a signature, shortened form of signature. The other one is sign, symptom, sign. That is a sign of corona, a kind of like symptom. So arikuri. You have two different meanings. Okay. Then firm. Even in firm, when you say, it means a kind of like a kind of nirvanam, institution or something like that, a firm, a business firm. Okay. Next one is firm. Okay. Hold it firm. Okay, நல்ல டைட்டா பிடிச்சுக்குங்க கெட்டியாக. So you have these two meanings here. Then ruler. Ruler means, of course, you know, the king, whoever is ruling, ruler. The other one is you have a ruler. Okay, scale we say, but we shouldn't say scale, it is a ruler. Okay, using that you are able to draw kind of what to say, using scales you can, it's not a scale, so using ruler you can draw some lines. Okay, next is sink. Sink is again sink when it comes as a verb, மூழ்கி போறது. So கடல்ல மூழ்கிறது sinking. So ship is sinking. Okay, கழுவு தொட்டி. Then another thing is you are washing sink. Okay, next is nail. Again, nail is, you have your nails. Okay, in the human body's nails. Other one is you are nailing. Okay, nailing at the head. Even there is an idiom, nailing at the head. Okay, then well. Again, well is there. Well is always used in many of the English novels. Well, they start with, oh, well. It means, okay, we'll continue. Well, what I mean is something like that. So it is a starter of a sentence also. So well, actually, it doesn't have a meaning of its own, but if you just go for that exact words meaning, nalladu. Okay, good, something good. Okay, something like that. But when it comes to another noun form of it, you have well means you have a well. Okay, a water body, water resource, skinner. Okay, so this is again ambiguous. Then will. Will again is, will is your will. I am willing to join your company. That will, you have a wish. Okay, another is will, the document. Your parents are giving you a will. Okay, that is a document. Okay, so you have two different meanings. And fair. Again, fair is F-A-I-R, fair. You have multiple meanings. So fair is, you are very fair. It's very unfair. Okay, the judge is very fair in his judgment. So fair is nyayamana, very honest. Okay, another thing is fair. Okay, do you remember the mayor of Casterbridge? That the heroine is sold in a fair. Okay, Sunday or Kangachi. You can even say education fair. So many fairs are going on. Fair, we call it fair. F-A-I-R, same spelling. Okay, then another thing is fair complexion. Your complexion is very fair. We are not supposed to say you're white, you're looking white, you're white. That is not so, because in Tamil we say வெள்ளையா இருக்காங்க, கருப்பாக இருக்காங்க. So the problem is we are not supposed to use வெள்ளத்தோல். வெள்ளத்தோல் only applicable in Tamil, but in English we call it fair. She's fair complexion and a dark complexion. கருப்புன்னு சொல்லக்கூடாது. கருப்பு வந்து again it's like kind of like very derogatory term. So now we say black lives, blacks. So blacks actually it's kind of like derogatory. We never use that. But in our literature we have black, all this nigger, negro, all those things they are not supposed to use because it's very like abusive. To some extent it is abusive. So fair complexion, it means fair complexion, the complexion. Okay, then you have chest. Chest refers to your chest, that is நெஞ்சு பகுதி. Then it refers to a kind of box, பேழை. In Tamil we say பேழை. பாக்ஸுக்கு பெட்டின்னு சொல்லலாம், பட் அட் த சேம் டைம் டு பி வெரி ப்ரிசைஸ், ரொம்ப நல்ல ஒரு மொழி வேணும் அப்படின்னா யூ ஹாவ் டு கோ ஃபார் பேழை. பேழை வந்து சந்தனப்பேழை, தங்கப்பேழை. தட்ஸ் வாட் வி ஃபைண்ட் இன் அவர் ஏன்ஷியன்ட் லிட்ரேச்சர். பட் வி கேன் சே ஈவன் பெட்டி. பெட்டி இஸ் ஆல்சோ அக்செப்டபிள், பட் பேழை ரொம்ப அழகான ஒரு டேர்ம். Okay, then next is novel. So novel is again it means something new. So far you have not heard of. So we even use it for corona, novel coronavirus. They always say novel means we have never seen such a kind of virus. Maybe different forms of virus, but this is a totally new virus, so you are not able to face it. So novel coronavirus, puttam pudhiya. But the same thing is applicable to our literature that refers to a kind of fiction. Okay, pudinam. In Tamil we say pudinam, pudidu. So it is from pudinam, pudidu. And it means a lengthy story. That is a novel, not a short story. So novel refers to either something new, need not be always fiction, something new in the case of novel coronavirus, but it can even mean something like a kind of novel, a story that you can read. Okay, so capital again, you all know capital of a country, capital of a state, and another thing is the capital that you invest for your business. So two meanings. Okay, so if you give single words, there are lots of problems. Students will be like blinking, or even sometimes will be blinking what to use. Okay, scales. So when you say scales, it doesn't mean the scales, but it means the measuring thing. Okay, measurement and the scales of a fish. Okay, then you have watch. So watch again. You listen. You watch. Please watch your path. Okay. So watch is gavanipade. The other one is the watch that you are wearing. Okay. So these are fall. Again, very common thing that we come across in our literature. Fall. This is fall season. Fall is always like when we use it means falling down, fall in love. காதல விழுவது விழுவதுங்கிறது தான் we are using, but fall actually means a season. Okay, in the European countries, fall is இலையுதிர் காலம். Okay. So what are the problems you have seen in the words in isolation? So words are multiple meanings. So here comes your linguistic theory. Signifier, signify, the sign. What is a sign? I have a sign here. You can see the sign here. FALL is a sign. F is a sign, A is a sign, L is a sign, it's a sign. If you just remove the alphabetical idea, then you just see this F is a sign, L is a sign, A is a sign. Sign. So what does it mean? When I say fall, it means something to the European people. Okay, what it signifies, signifier is the sign. It signifies. When I say fall, it refers to some kind of fall. Maybe I think it is my fault. I take it to be a verb, but somebody else will take it to be a kind of noun. So signifier, signify. So concepts of Ferdinand de Saussure. So it is related to linguistic theory. So the problem of multiple meanings will come. So what does it signify? What does the sign signify? So this is an important point. It's one of the problems of translation. Okay, and doesn't help this translator how to use the word, where to use, how to use, because I have given you only words in isolation. It's isolated. Okay, when they are in isolation, you don't know the exact meaning of the words. That is the usage you don't know how to use in a sentence. So the words in isolation won't help you. Then context and usage is missing. You don't know how to use it. Maybe we always say in our classroom, I know 2,000 words in English. I know 20,000 words in English. Okay, but you don't know where to use it. That's what is the problem of these students. They have passive vocabulary. They always say, every day I memorize 200 words or 10 words. Okay, I know all these words. I know the meaning, but where to use it? You don't know the usage. That is again a problem in translation. You should know the context of the source text and the usage of the sentences or phrases. Okay, and machine can't understand the exact word. So if you go for machine translation, if you give fall, machine might go for the falling down or your act of falling down. You fall down. Okay, so it may not know the season, or it may take the season and it will leave away the other thing. So machine can't understand what exactly it is. Okay, so it will give you all the options. Then again you have to choose. So these are the basic problems. Okay, again try translating. Okay, I wanted to give it as an assignment. You can even give it very like interesting. You can take the names of the movies, English movies, Avengers, Endgame. How will you translate? Palivaanguvavargal, Kadaisi Vilayattu. Okay, so this is the translation. Then the Invisible Man. How will you translate? Just imagine in your mother tongue. Okay, what I have translated is Kannukku theriyada andha manidhan. So what about this the? How will you translate the? Okay, the invisible man. The is a definite article that we are using, A and the, right? So the refers to a particular thing. But in Tamil, how will you say? Can we say andha manidhan? It looks odd. It looks odd. Kannukku theriyada manidhan. It's right. But andha manidhan, because I have included this just for your understanding, the can't be translated. Okay, the invisible man. Kannukku theriyada andha manidhan. Kannukku theriyada manidhan. That is very nice. What is better that you have to choose? Then Fantasy Island. It's very simple. What is fantasy? Fantasy, when I refer to fantasy, you might be remembering Coleridge's view of fantasy, imagination and fantasy. Something that doesn't exist. Okay, only in imagination. So Karpanai Thivu. That is Karpanai Thivu. Okay, then you have Pirates of the Caribbean. So English, names of the English movies I've chosen. Okay, pirates. So what do you mean? Then you have to ask. Initially we started with words in isolation. Now you have a kind of like phrases. Pirates of the Caribbean. So ask the students to translate. Let them translate. You just ask them what are the favorite movies. Okay, what are their favorite movies? Ask them to translate the title. Okay, Pirates of the Caribbean. So how will you translate? Okay, Caribbean in கடற்கொள்ளையர்கள். So what happens here? Caribbean comes to the front position. Repositioning. Caribbean in. You can't say கடற்கொள்ளையர்கள் Caribbean. That's not wrong in Tamil. You can't use that. Okay, if you really want to have the exact meaning, you have to go for Caribbean in. Caribbean தீவின் கடற்கொள்ளையர்கள். Caribbean தீவு. Okay, Caribbean. Caribbean is a proper name, proper noun. So you can't translate it. Whatever is there, you have to transliterate. Caribbean. You have to write transliteration. Okay, Caribbean in கடற்கொள்ளையர்கள். Okay, next is The Matrix. The Matrix is another English movie, very popular movie. So how will you on the ani? Matrix in mathematics means ani சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா matrix. Okay, it comes under ஒரு groupல வருது. Grouping of அந்த things எல்லாம். So அணின்னு போடுவோம், ஒரு curly bracesல போடுவோம். So அணி அப்படி போட்டீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும். So அந்த அணின்னு போட்டீங்கன்னா in Tamil, it won't give you proper meaning. It will, even the beauty of the term is lost. So என்ன பண்ணணும்? You have to go for transliteration. So what is transliteration? Exactly, you transliterate into your mother tongue. So matrix, matrix. Okay, and again D can't be brought. The matrix, you can't use on the matrix. It's very ugly. It looks ugly. So matrix. Okay, so this is the option. This is in the hands of the translator. Okay, The Sound of Music. Okay, this is a very popular movie. It's ancient, like for a long time, but it's still it's a classic movie. If you have time, you can watch. Full of songs. English movie. Okay, Sound of Music. So how will you translate music? Geetham அப்படியே வச்சுக்கலாம். So sound சத்தம் வச்சுக்கலாமா? இசையின் அந்த நாதம். Okay, so the becomes அந்த. இசையின் அந்த நாதம். இசை, கீதம், whatever it is. இசை is a better word because for music in Tamil we say இசை. பாட்டு is not correct. பாட்டு வந்து only song. Music includes everything. Music has got everything, the rhythm, the song, the lyric, everything. So இசை. இசையின் instead of sound நாம் என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? We always go for சத்தம், சப்தம். Okay, that's awkward. So instead you have to say nadam. When there is a music, you get some melodious kind of sound. Okay, that is not sabdam. Sabdam is different from this kind of melodious music. So you should know to distinguish between சத்தம் போடாத அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கும் மியூசிக்கோட அந்த நாதம் கேட்குது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கும் difference. So you have to look at the context. What are you translating? You have to keep in mind and then translate. Okay, so the sound of music becomes இசையின் அந்த நாதம், இசையின் நாதம் ரெண்டுமே. ஓகே, அந்த வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஆக்வர்ட், பட் உங்களுக்கு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங்காக நான் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். இஃப் ஐ எம் டிரான்ஸ்லேட்டிங், நான் வந்து இசையின் நாதம் அப்படின்னு தான் கொடுக்க போறேன். Then the Silence of the Lambs. This is again another movie, title of a movie. Silence of the Lambs. ஆட்டுக்குட்டிகளின் அமைதி அல்லது மௌனம். அமைதி is also correct, மௌனம் is also correct, but which is better? ஆட்டுக்குட்டிகளின் அமைதியை விட மௌனம்ங்கிறது இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் நல்லா. நீங்க ஒரு படம் கூட தமிழ்ல இருக்கு, மௌனம் பேசியதே, அமைதி பேசியதுன்னு சொன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும். ஸோ யூ வாண்ட் டு மேக் இட் லைக் அதை வந்து நல்லா ரிஃபைன் பண்ணீங்கன்னா then it becomes, you have to go for more words in Tamil or in English depending upon your translation. So in the same way, when you're translating from Tamil to English also, you have to go for refined words. சும்மா அப்படியே இப்போ வந்து ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் குட்டி பையன், குட்டி அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? லிட்டில். லிட்டிலோட இன்னொரு வார்த்தை இருக்கு, டைனி. Tiny boy, like tiny thing. So tiny becomes like kind of ஒரு நல்லா இருக்கும். So இந்த மாதிரி you have to be thorough with the language. Okay, ஆட்டுக்குட்டிகளின் அமைதி அல்லது because lambs இருக்கு இல்லையா, so you can't say ஆட்டுக்குட்டி. So lambs is a plural. So you have to see to it. Then the next word is Gone with the Wind. This is again a very like classic movie, Gone with the Wind. So how will you translate? Because it's almost like poetic. Gone with the wind. It has gone with the wind. It is not like full sentence. It has gone with the wind. Gone with the wind. So how will you translate? So you can find காற்றோடு சென்றதே. Okay. So what happens here again? Wind comes to the front position. காற்று, wind. காற்றோடு சென்றதே. Okay. So gone with the wind. Then you have the exorcist. So this is another problem. Exorcist. This is a very popular movie. You must have seen. Okay. Like exorcism. It talks about exorcism. The devil is being driven away by a priest. So that's a very like a horrific movie. So how will you translate? Look at the term exorcist. Is it a male or female? Can we identify whether it is a male or female? That's a problem with English. Exorcist might be a male or a female. Okay. So how can we say பேயோட்டுபவன் அல்லது பேயோட்டுபவன்? Because we don't know the gender. Exorcist is a common gender. So தமிழ்ல என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? பேயோட்டுபவர் அப்படி கொடுக்கணும். பேயோட்டுபவர் அல்லது பேயோட்டுபவன். If you really want to be very specific, you can go for பேயோட்டுபவன், பேயோட்டுபவள், பேயோட்டுபவர். So it is up to you to decide. Okay. Then the Godfather. How will you translate it into your mother tongue? Godfather. God, you must be having some words, terms in your mother tongue. Father, how do you say? Appa or father means Thagappan, whatever it is. So I have used a very kind of colloquial term. So I have the Thagappan Sami. Godfather actually means Thagappan Sami. Again, what happens here? Father is Thagappan. It has come to the front. Okay, God has come to the thing, Sami. Not Thagappan Kadavul. Kadavul we can't say. Thagappan Sami, and D can't be translated. And the Thagappan Sami is awkward. Or you can even go for a kind of like colloquial. Samiyappan. Sami is a God. Appan is again father. So if you go for that Samiyappan, we have names among ourselves in our family. Samiyappa, we say. So Godfather. Okay, that's the meaning. See how interesting it is. Okay. Then the Beauty and the Beast. This is another movie you can find. The Beauty and the Beast. What does it mean? Does it mean the first term? The beauty, does it mean the beauty generally, or the beauty refers to a girl? Actually, in the movie, it refers to a girl, a beautiful girl. The beast refers to the protagonist. That is, he is a beast actually. He is in the beast form. So either you can go for Alagum Vilangum, because the beauty refers to Alagu. Okay, beauty generally refers to. But actually, in the movie, it refers to Alahi. Alagu, Alahi. So the Beauty and the Beast, Alagum Vilangum, Alahiyum Vilangumanidhanam. So which is correct? This is the correct one, because it is the one that refers to the movie. If you generally give this term, okay, you can go for this. But if you want to fix a title for a Tamil movie, the same Tamil dub movie, then you have to go for Alahiyum Vilangumanidhanam. That is the exact translation. So it changes. Translation changes according to the target audience, according to your purpose. I told you yesterday, what is your purpose? If it is Bible translation, something different. If it is a translation of movie entertainment, that's different. If it is translation of a classic or novel, then you have to go for a different kind of method. Okay. And Terminator, Judgment Day. So here again, you have a like Mudithu Vaipavan. Terminator actually means terminate something. Suddenly you terminate, it stops. Okay. It has got little bit little more meaning in Terminator in English, but in Tamil we don't have exact equivalent. So you have Mudithu Vaipavan. He just stops everything. Tirpu Naal, Judgment Day, Tirpu. Finally you have Tirpu Naal. So what happens? What are the problems here? The definite article can't be translated most of the times, and some words lose their significance in translation. If I told you matrix can't be translated as Ani. Ani means very, very common word. So matrix should be translated as matrix in transliteration. So here again you find the compromises. What are the compromises? So you have to go for transliteration. You transliterate. Instead of giving the meaning, matrix or the meaning anin kudukama, matrix in Tamil eludunga. So nothing wrong in it. People will accept it. Okay, it's up to you to decide. And gender is not understood. Gender, it is like exorcist. Even if you take some common nouns like artist, okay, so you don't find gender in that. It's common. So that is again a difficult thing in Tamil to translate. Then alliteration is missing. So when you say Beauty and the Beast, what is there? There is a kind of like a figure of speech alliteration using of consonant B, B, B. But in Tamil we say Alagiyum Vilangu Manithanam. So that is lost. That beautiful alliteration is missing. But you have the meaning. The meaning is there. So nothing could be done because we can't go for a kind of like this kind of alliteration in Tamil. And here again, I told you already, the pirates is a noun, of the Caribbean is a qualifier. We always say the pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates is a noun, actual noun, and of the Caribbean is a qualifier. Okay, adjective, it's a prepositional phrase. What happens in translation? The qualifier comes to the front position and noun goes to the second position. Reversal takes place. Okay, so these are the problems. Okay, from Tamil to English. This again you can try. Okay, Talabadi, general. Okay, Talabadi is general. Talabadi, you know the movie of Rajini. Okay, then you have Mauna Ragam. Then you can find silent raga, because ragam doesn't have a equivalent English. They don't have raga. English people, they don't have raga because they don't have that kind of thing. They have only notes, musical notes. So when you say raga, ragam, talam, pallavi, everything should be transliterated. Raga, see, ragam, raga, or silent notes. That will change the meaning, because ragam is referring to the ragam that we have in our Indian music. Okay. Kaka mutta. Then how will you translate? Can we say crow's egg or crow egg? Crow egg, crow's egg. Actually, the meaning is kaka muttai. Kakavin muttaya, illa kaka muttaya. So it's again ambiguous. So kaka muttai means crow egg. Very simply, when you go for word for word translation, kaka crow muttai egg. So kaka muttai. So what happens here? Is it the muttai, the egg of crow, or what does it mean? Because in the title itself is ambiguous, so you don't understand. Simply you can go for kaka muttai, crow egg or crow's egg. First of yes. Ponmagal vandal. How will you say? Golden girl appeared. Okay, so golden girl. It is not gold daughter came. So if you go for word translation, we always say pon, gold, magal, daughter, vandal, came. This is actually not correct. It is not acceptable. I don't say not correct. It is like a little bit ugly. So you can say golden girl appeared. Vandal, vanda, thondinal, prasannamanal. Okay. So you have to be very careful with the usage. Then Aranya Gandam. Aranya means forest. So this is again a problem. In Tamil itself, you don't know the meaning. Aranyam, what is it? Aranya Gandam actually means a chapter. Gandam actually means a chapter. Okay, we have in Ramayana, Sundara Gandam, all those Aranya Gandam. Aranya Gandam is there in Ramayana. Aranyam is forest. So the life of Rama and Sita, Lakshmana in the forest. So Aranyam means forest. Gandam is actually chapter, but when it is an epic, you are not supposed to give chapter. Chapter is only applicable to novels. So Gandam actually means cantos. You remember cantos of Pope, the essay on man, it was in cantos. So cantos means like chapters. Actual meaning is chapters, but it's a little bit elevated term that we are using with regard to literature. Okay, then Varanam Ayiram. Again, you find what is Varanam. We simply use, we listen to the songs, we watch the movies. But what is Varanam? Varanam actually means elephants. It is in Tirupavai, Andal's Tirupavai, Varanam Ayiram. So Varanam actually means elephants. So Ayiram, you know, thousand elephants. Again, you find the reversal. Ayiram comes here and Varanam comes here. You can't say elephants 1,000. If you just translate that, it won't be nice. Okay. Then next is Tottividam Duram. How will you translate this? Tottividam Duram. This is the name of a Tamil movie. Okay. How can you translate? Distance far enough to reach, touch. Actually reach, but touch. Tottividam Duram doesn't mean that you have to touch. It is like reaching. So you can either go for touch or reach. But reach will be very nice. But I have gone for the same term. I have translated the same term. Okay. Then Kapan. What do you mean by Kapan? Kapan actually, it means protector. Kapan refers to protector. Okay, Kapan is Kapagam, Kapan, Kapu means something protecting us. Okay, so Kapan, then Matran. What is Matran? So we have never thought of these terms So if you just give the students these terms and to ask them to translate, they'll be blinking. They simply know the hero, heroine, the songs, but they don't know the words. So how can we learn our language? Even in Tamil, we don't know many of the words. We are not aware of this kind of usages. Okay, matran is not us, somebody from outside, maybe an enemy. So matran actually means enemy, not a friend. Matran, somebody outside. Matra all, matra desam. Matra means something outside, not our side. Okay, then onion, very common term, very common term that we are using after the movie, Vikram's movie, onion. So what happens here? Alien. Onion is again like matram. It doesn't belong to us. Okay, alien. Somebody who is from outside. So onion. Okay, Amarkalam. Amarkalam is another popular movie. So what is the exact meaning of Amarkalam in English? Okay, it means grandness, but actually Amarkalam means you create the kind of chaos. It has got two types of meanings. Derogatory meaning, okay. Sometimes it doesn't mean that grandness. It means a chaotic situation. It's like chaotic. But actually in that movie it is known as like Amarkalama irukuppa. So in both the ways you can use the term Amarkalam for something, for referring to something good and for referring to something chaotic. So for both the words, you can, for both the meanings, you can use the word Amarkalam. But in the movie, it is given as grandness. Okay. Then Alaipayidu. So how will you translate? Again, if you go for this word for word translation, Alai means wave. Paide, what will you go do? So it is not that. Actual meaning is wandering. Your mind is not steady. Your mind is wandering. So think of the song Alaipaide Kanna En Manam Alaipaide. So you have to look at the next sentence, next phrase, the context, then you come out with the meaning. So you can't say wave is going. It is okay, very silly translation. Alaipaide means my mind is wandering. It is not steady. It's thinking of you. So this is taken from a song, Alaipaide song, and the title of the movie is Alaipaide. So you have to use wandering instead of waves movement. That is wrong. Okay, now compound words. Choose the appropriate words, okay? Compound words. Words, what do you mean by compound words? Even the word compound words. How will you translate? Compound words, compound madhil chuvar, correct? Compound is fencing. Can we take it that way? No. Compound words are, it is not madhil vartigal, it is kootu vartigal. You are joining two words, okay? You take two words and you again create another new word. So compound words doesn't mean madhil. Because you have the word compound, it doesn't mean that it refers to a fence. Okay. Then dishwasher. Dishwasher actually means a machine for washing dishes. Okay, that is available in the cosmopolitan cities. Dishwasher. So what is dish? Dish actually means, it has got two meanings. One is dish is a vessel. Okay, the other one is dish. You eat an item. You eat. So how will you translate? Patram kalavi, unavu kalavi. So what is the exact? Both the things are not correct. Patram kalavi, unavu kalavi. So it is not correct. Okay. Can we go for Patram alamu iyandiram? So what is the problem here? In dishwasher, you don't have iyandiram. Iyandiram is machine. Okay. But here you don't have, but you have to add. Then only this is meaningful. Otherwise, this will not give you meaning. But it gives you only a kind of ambiguous idea about the term. So dishwasher can be taken to be Patram alamu iyandiram. You have the freedom to do that. Okay, because you want to make it clear. The translator has to make it clear. So you can add this. So if you translate this, Patram alamu iyandiram, dish cleaning machine. So this is back translation. If you translate this is not dishwasher. This is a dish cleaning machine or dishwashing machine. Okay, but still nothing could be done. So you have to go for these kind of compromises. Then lipstick. Again, this is a very common term. Lipstick, lipstick. Stick is in Tamil we say kuchi. Lipstick means a kind of like a kuchi mari, but actually it is a cosmetic. Okay, it is not anything to do with stick. Okay, so udattu kuchi. If you go for word translation, udattu kuchi, wrong. So you can either go for udattu chayam, and nowadays we have a term vai mai, because in many conferences, no, when we go, men used to refer to this why my, like your kan my. So this is also now accepted. But when you join this why my, that becomes வள்ளுவருடைய வாய்மை ஆயிடும். வாய்மை இடத்து பொய்மையும் வாய்மை இடத்து. So look at this. That's a beauty of language. So you should have a space. Okay, lipstick. Then skyscraper. Skyscrapers are tall buildings that even goes to the level of touching. Like yesterday I was telling about Tower of Babel. Like same way, skyscrapers. So how will you translate it into Tamil? Van Sivudal. You go for exact translation. Van Sivudal. Scrapping is Sivudal. But actually, in Tamil you have to say Vanalaviya Kattidam. Okay? Tongue twisters. Difficult to pronounce. Again, Nakai Sulatrubavar. Wrong. So what to say? Kadina Ucharaipu Vartigal Soturaigal. So the equivalence, not exact meaning. Like Basana, Perundu, it's not like that. It is equivalence, like wedding. Wedding means for Europeans, they have ring, exchange of ring. For us, Tali, even in Tali, you have differences. So like that, you have Kadina Ucharaipu Vartigal, tongue twisters. Okay? It is difficult to pronounce. So Tamil la வந்து நாக்கை சுழற்றுங்க, twistனா திருப்பி போடுறது சுழற்றுறது. That is not possible. Okay, the butterfly, another thing. So it is not that a fly made of butter. Okay, so வெண்ணெய் பூச்சி நீங்க அப்படியே translate பண்ணீங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? Word for word translation வெண்ணெய் பூச்சி. It is wrong. So what is the exact meaning? Butterfly, பட்டாம்பூச்சி in Tamil. Eggplant. Eggplant actually means brinjal. Okay, brinjal is referred to as eggplant in English. Another term. So அப்படியே கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? முட்டை செடி. Eggplant. But actual meaning is katrika. Okay. Then windshield. It's wind stopper. There is a shield to stop wind. Shield in Tamil என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? கேடயம். ஷீல்டு வாங்கியிருக்காங்க, கேடயம் இல்லைன்னா ஒரு அவார்டு ஒரு என்ன சொல்லுவோம், ஷீல்டு வாங்கியிருக்காங்கன்னா ஒரு கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ஒரு கேடயம் மாதிரி இருக்கிற விஷயம். ஸோ அதை அப்படி கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா தென் வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ்? காற்று கேடயம் ராங். ஸோ காற்று தடுப்பு. ஆக்சுவலி இட் இஸ் ஸ்டாப்பிங் த விண்ட். ஸோ காற்று தடுப்பு. ஓகே, லைட் ஹவுஸ். அகெயின் another term very commonly we use, but when you go for translation, not a house with light. What does it mean? வெளிச்சை விட்டு கொடுக்க கூடாது. What you have to do? கலங்கரை விளக்கம். Okay, maiden attempt, very common term. Maiden attempt means first attempt. Okay, but maiden in Tamil means கன்னி. Okay, கன்னி முயற்சி. அதை அதிகம் யூஸ் பண்ண மாட்டோம், கொஞ்சம் நல்லா இருக்காது. You can go for first attempt, முதல் முயற்சி. That is good. Government servant. The servant actually means வேலைக்காரன் அல்லது வேலைக்காரி. Again, servant don't have any gender. Servant means it refers either to a male or a female. So government servant, can you say அரசு வேலைக்காரன்? Can you say that? அரசு வேலைக்காரன் அல்லது வேலைக்காரி? Wrong. So you have to go for a better term, that is அரசு ஊழியர். Okay, so let's look at the problems. So these are the specific problems in translation. So linguistic problems, okay, language related problems, cultural problems. While translating literary text, you have problems of translating the figures of speech into the other language. That's again a problem. Religious text, as I told you yesterday, you can't simply translate the religious text as you wish. It has got its own problems. You have to be very careful with the usage. You can't simply change. So that happened in Bible translation. Yesterday I told you about Etienne Dolet. He was burnt at stake, a French translator. Then the nuances of a language, idioms and phrases. Okay, these are the basic problems. Okay, we have examples. I'll just rush up because we don't have time. Okay, structural problems. As I told you, structure changes. SVO, SOV. Style changes. Okay, as I told you, the Beauty and the Beast. B. It is an alliteration. That's a style given by the filmmaker. But we couldn't maintain the style here. We have to change only to maintain the meaning, only to pass on the content. Then you have a genre, from one genre to another. If it is in poem, you can't simply, sometimes you fail to remake it as a poem. You might even end up as a kind of prose. I told you about Tagore. Tagore himself wrote originally in Bengali poetic form. When he translated, he himself translated it from poetic form to prose form. So genre change. So these problems might occur. Okay, when you are translating, you might come across such problems. So you can categorize whatever problems you have encountered under these categories. These are the very common categories. Yesterday somebody was asking about the problems in translation. So these are the problems. So look at this. Some more examples I would like to give you. The usage of run. The word run. Okay, this is seems to be very simple but complex. I am running late to college. Is running a race. I am running temperature. What movie is running in the theater? Take running notes, please. He is running a prosperous business. You are running a risk. Her emotions were running high. He is running for presidency. She has running nose. Do you think all these mean the same? Everyone is having its own meaning. So if you give this passage to your children, your students, they'll be blinking. See, same running, but when we refer to dictionary, run means odu. Okay, it's a kind of verb, but you can use it in different ways. It's a usage in English, different usages of running. So you can try this. You can give the pictures. You can try this in your classrooms. I have not translated this. It's up to you. You can translate. Okay, and proverbs again. So this again, proverbs. Look at this. Birds of same feather flock together. So what is the meaning? It means that the same kind of people with same kind of qualities will be together. So in Tamil, we are not using birds. Birds are given that. பறவை ஒரே இனத்தை சேர்ந்த பறவைகள் அப்படி கிடையாது. இனம் இனத்தோடு சேரும். So the word birds is not there. So this is actually a kind of adaptation. Okay. So adaptation மாதிரி தான் இது. என்ன இருக்கோ அந்த மீனிங் வேற மாதிரி you have given in your mother tongue. So birds of same feather flock together. They will go together. Okay. So இது வந்து நம்ம மாத்திடுறோம். Flock and feather எதுவுமே இல்லை. So simply we say இனம் இனத்தோடு சேரும். Then look before you leave. That means you be cautious. The meaning of this proverb in English is be cautious. Before you do something, you have to be cautious. So in Tamil we say ஆழம் தெரியாமல் காலை விடாதே. So it refers to a water body. When you just go touch, when you just want to get into a water body, maybe a river or a lake or whatever it is, ocean, you have to be very cautious about the depth of the river or the lake. So you have to be cautious. Again, it has the same meaning. Be cautious. Okay. Then the cat loves fish, but she hates to wet her feet. Okay. The cat wants fish, but only if you get into the water body, you can catch a fish. The cat wants fish. At the same time, it doesn't want to make her wet her feet. Okay. So what does it mean? Oscillation. You want both the things. So in Tamil, we say, Kulukum asai, meesaikkum asai. So totally different thing. Cat is there in the English sentence, in the English proverb, but in Tamil, Kulukum asai, meesaikkum asai. Okay. You want to drink the porridge, but you are scared that your mustache will get spoiled. Okay. Kulukum asai, meesaikkum asai. Then eagles do not catch flies. This is about some kind of magnanimity. So eagles, they don't come down to catch the flies. The height that flies just fly, they have, that's different, and eagles will fly at a very greater height. So they won't come down to catch this flies. It means that maintaining dignity. So what do you say in Tamil? Puli pasithalum pullai thinnadu. So you can find the difference. Eagles are used in English. In Tamil, we are using tiger. Even if tiger is hungry, it won't go eat grass. Okay, that's the thing. And many a slip between the cup and the milk. Okay, it means that you're not able to accomplish your task properly. You're trying to do it, but there's a failure. It fails. Okay, in Tamil, we say kai ketiyadu vaayku ettavilai. Okay, then spare the rod, spoil the child. Sometimes strong warning, even beating is necessary to separate the children. Okay. So adi udavuvathu pol annam thambi udava maatar. Okay. Where there is a will, there is a way. So effort is needed. You have to have willpower, then you will have the way. So in Tamil we say manam irundal margam undu. So these kind of proverbs you can give to your students, ask them to translate in their mother tongue. Okay. And the other thing is this idiomatic expressions in Tamil. Aval mulugamal irukkiral. So what does it mean? Mulugamal in Tamil means not taking birth. So literal meaning is she has not taken birth. But actual meaning is she is pregnant. She is carrying. Okay, avanai thalai mulgi vitten. Same mulugamal mulgi. Avanai thalai mulgi vitten. If you say in Tamil, it means that I took a dip. Means you have taken a hair bath. Okay, poured water over my head. It is not so. The meaning is I don't want his relationship. I have cut off his relationship. Okay, அவர் சிவலோக பதவி வைகுண்ட பதவி அடைந்தார். அவர் இயற்கை எய்தினார். These are euphemistic usage. Okay, he is dead. We never say he is dead. Not common people can say, but the teachers of English literature should not say he is dead. Yesterday we had sad news that Sushant, he passed away. Okay, so you don't say dead, he is dead. You shouldn't say. That is very awkward, like saying nigger, negro, okay, blacks. That's very awkward. Instead you can say, that's what is known as euphemism. Euphemism is like polished look. Okay, that's why we say washroom. We don't say toilet. It's not used anymore. Restroom, washroom. Okay, that is a decent way of using it. The same way, like our Sivaloka Padavi Adaindar means he is dead. But Padavi Adaindar means like promotion. Okay, literal meaning is he has got a position in Shiva's abode. But actual meaning is he is dead. Okay, பையனுக்கு எப்ப கால் கட்டு போடுறாங்க? This is a very common question. எப்ப கால் கட்டு? It doesn't mean that his hands are to be tied up. Okay, when are you planning to tie your son's legs? That's a literal meaning. But actual meaning is, the real meaning is, when are you planning to get your son married? The next one is avan kambiniti vittan. In Tamil we say kambiniti vittan. Kambi is a rod. Okay, so he straightened the rod. Kambiniti vittan means like this. But actual meaning is he escaped. Okay, so look at these in English. The earlier one is from Tamil to English. Now look at the idioms of English at a drop of a hat. If you translate or topi kile vidum samayam, but actually it is not so. So you look at these idioms. I have not translated. I have given only the English meanings. You can try this in your classrooms with your students. Okay, ask them to translate whether they are able to understand the actual meaning of these idioms. Okay, so at the drop of a hat means without hesitation, immediately. Okay, beat around the bush means to avoid this point. He just talks about anything else. Devil's advocate is to present a counter argument. Let the cat out of the bag means to reveal the secret. Miss the boat to miss a chance. Sit on the fence, madil mel punai. Okay, which one to choose, whether to jump here or that side. Then straight from the horse mouth. It means something directly said by the main, so that is primary source. Somebody else is confirming. Okay, somebody who is authentic is confirming. Taste of your own medicine to get the same treatment that you have given to others. So equality. Steal someone's thunder, to steal the limelight. Somebody else had done the work and you have stolen the limelight. That is your the compliments you have stolen. Okay, so that is steal someone's thunder. The ball is in your court, so it is you to take decision. The next move. So these are the English meanings. So you can go for the Tamil or your mother tongue equivalent. So this is from my translation. I have chosen this from Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn, you all know, it's by Mark Twain. So this is actually in a dialect. Okay, Negro dialect of a Negro, black man. So can you identify this? But my landmark said. So it's very tough to read this. I'll give you the. But in these cases, you can't directly translate because this itself is in dialect form. This is not in contemporary English. This is in a dialect form. So what will you do? You have to neutralize it to the contemporary English. So look at this, neutralized. But my Lord, Master said, how am I going to make this witch wise? I don't know how to make it. I have never even heard of such a thing before. So that is the meaning. You can see, but my Lord. So Lord is land. Okay, master is mouse. So it's a dialect. Even in Tamil, we have many dialects. Okay, in Tamil Nadu, we have different usages of the same kind of sentence. Like enge போகிறீர்கள், that's a standard Tamil. எங்க போறீங்க, எங்கிட்டு போறீங்க, எங்க போற. So there are different usages. So dialectal usages. So dialectal usages is like sometimes confusing to a person who reads it. Okay, from other countries. So here you find even though it is in English, you don't understand the first passage. It's in dialect. Okay, it is with dialect. Going to make this African American Vernacular English, AAVE. Okay, so I don't. Look at this. Apostrophe is used. This is this problem I faced while translating Huckleberry Finn. So I translated it into Tamil. ஆனால் என்னுடைய தலைவா மாசு said சூனியக்காரி cake. Again, what is that? Cake, you can't go for pie is cake. Pie, cake, we don't have. We don't have pie, cake, all mean kind of eatable dish made of flour. Okay, baked one. Okay, cake, Sunyakari cake. So I have used this. Okay, this is the Tamil translation I have given. One more example. Will you do it, honey? Will you? I'll shove the ground. You can't understand. So you have to neutralize. This is again AABE. So what is the thing neutralized? Will you do it, honey? Will you? If you do, I will worship the ground under your feet. I will. Okay. This is again you find the idiom. I will worship the ground under your feet. So kind of like too much of hyperbole, I must say. Hyperbole, it's a kind of figure of speech. Okay. Then நீங்கள் செய்வீர்களா? Honey, how will you translate தேனினும் இனியவரே? தேனே. Okay, but he is not talking to a woman, he is talking to a master. So தேனினும் இனியவரே நீங்கள் செய்வீர்களா? அப்படி மட்டும் நீங்கள் செய்தால் நீங்கள் இருக்கும் இடத்தை நான் தொழுது பூசை செய்து வணங்குவேன். கண்டிப்பாக செய்வேன். So this is actually taken from Huckleberry Finn, Utterances of a Negro Slave in the book. Okay, so in the first page of the book, Mark Twain has given the explanation that the book is full of too many dialects: Missouri dialect, Negro dialect, the backwood Southwestern dialect, America, Pike Country dialect, and 4 modified varieties of the dialect. So when you are translating such a book, you have to first of all neutralize the dialects. Okay, you have to neutralize the book into the contemporary English form. Then only you have to translate. So from step 1 to step 2, then step 3 is translation. So this is very tough. Okay. Okay, I think we have come to the end of this. I'm just rush off. You can give this kind of simple rhymes to your classroom. Baba Black Sheep. So this is actually done in the workshop classroom in PSD Arts College. Okay. Then you go to the next level, sonnets of E.B. Browning. So this is done by me. Okay. E.B. Browning sonnet, say over again and yet once over again. So this is actually love sonnet. Then sometimes you have to go for transcreation. For transcreation, you have the example of Geetanjali. I have already spoken about it. Then adaptation. For adaptation, you can take the same source, but 3 people have adapted. The source is Plutarch's Lives of Great People. So you have All for Love, Antony and Cleopatra story, All for Love by John Dryden. Before that, Antony and Cleopatra by William Shakespeare. Then in the 20th century, Caesar and Cleopatra by Bernard Shaw. So this is adaptation, same source. So, about Antony and Cleopatra, but 3 different renderings, okay, by 3 different writers. That is also adaptation. So why I'm giving this is, for example, you can use this same source. Maybe somebody else have used it differently. You can use it differently. That is possible. Okay. Then this is Ode to Autumn by John Keats. This is done by me and I publish it in a magazine. This is the magazine I have published. And this is from Tamil to English. Okay, the previous one is English to Tamil. This is actually by a poet, Solai Mayavan. He belongs to Pollachi. So his, why I have given this is very tough to translate because Panai Marathukal, Pandri Kudal, Churuttu Bidi, Karupatti Kalanda Pongal, these things are not available in English. They have a different dish. I told you, no, cake we don't have, pie we don't have, but we have Pongal. Okay, how can you translate? There are problems. How will you solve the problems? Okay, so this is palm tree toddy, that is Panai Marathukal. Then you have pig intestine, Pandri Kudal. Okay, that is in for Karparayams. Okay, for the village gods, we offer this chirot sugar. Okay, black jaggery added, sweet dish. Pongal is here. Pongal we offer it to God. Okay, then Damaru. Okay, so what I did is for Pongal I have given Pongal sweet dish, and for that I have given a end note. I describe because when foreigner reads this, he may not know what a sweet dish, what Pongal means, so he has to read it here. Then acoustic horn, kombu. Kombu is a kind of instrument that are used in Tamil Nadu, especially in village sites. So for that, I have given another note. Okay, then one is Damaru. Damaru you can see here. Damaru, Udukai. So for that, you have to get Damaru. Then for that, you have given the end note or footnote. So with this, you can explain, you can translate. Okay, so this is my latest novel I'm going to publish. It's in print. Huckleberry Finn. I have finished during the lockdown. I did this. I finished. So with this, I am coming to the concluding part of the webinar. Okay, we can ask questions now. Thank you for your patient listening. I think shortly I have completed my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any questions, please? Any questions?
Shall I
Am I
read
audible?
it, ma'am?
Yes. Any questions, please?
There's a question, ma'am. If we don't have an equivalent word or phrase whatsoever, can we retain the word of the source language in the target language?
So I told you, no, if you don't have an equivalent word, you can go for equivalence. Okay. I told you dishwasher. You don't have an exact word equivalent. So you can go for your own choice. You can go for equivalence. Your ambition, your motive is to make the readers clear about the term. So you can go for a kind of equivalence. So I said, okay, patram alambum yandram. So it will be clear, but it's not an exact translation. This word is two words. But when it comes to patram alambum yandram, patram kalu niyandram, it becomes a three-word thing, not actually the exact translation, but you want to make it clear. So that kind of thing you can do. The translator has liberty to do that, like poetic license. Okay, in poems you find poetic license. They don't bother to use noun first and verb second. They can just exchange it. So translator has a poetic freedom, but not always. So you have to be very um, uh, clear about what you want to say. If you have equivalent, you can use it. If you don't have equivalence, I told you, Panay Marathikal, then Damaro. Either you can go for giving footnotes or endnotes. It's up to you. You can choose depending upon the usage. But you should be very clear that the same kind of word is available in English or not. But some cultural specific words are not available. As I told about wedding, right? So in that case, you have to go for a kind of like wedding is okay. Not tali kattadal, not manjakairu. Okay, my manjakairu is great for me. If you say, nobody will understand. So manjakairu you have to give a, for yellow thread you have to give a footnotes. What is yellow? In India, especially in Tamil Nadu, people used to tie yellow thread around the neck of the bride. It is actually a symbol for the thing that it is she is married to somebody. So that kind of thing you have to add. Okay.
Next question, ma'am. For the one who is interested in doing translation of literary texts from Tamil to English, how to pick the books for or any official platform to get into the info?
Actually, as I told you, it's like your patient that matters. If you really want to do something, so two things are possible. One is if you're translating from your mother tongue to English, it's really great contribution because look at Bama. Bama wrote in Tamil. Since she was translated, her works had been translated into English, I was able to do my research on Bama. So even people across the country, they are able to read Bama. So going to be a great contribution. So you can choose kind of like latest writings, maybe the writings of Sahitya Academy winners, but you have to get their consent. That is one thing. So you can choose those kind of writers with their permission. You can translate them from Tamil to English, or if you want to bring from English to Tamil. See, Huckleberry Finn is available in English, but many of our Tamil readers may not know about Huckleberry Finn. So I wanted to do it. It's a challenging work, but I wanted to do it because it is very interesting. Another thing is it belongs to children's literature. It might even become a textbook in future, maybe for the Tamil students. It can even be prescribed as naughty type. Okay, so you have to have some purpose. First thing is your choice. If you are interested, you can do. Now, I wanted to do Taslima Nasrin's Lajja. Lajja is in English. Okay, I want to do it, but there might be like controversial problems, copyright problems. So I have to get permission from Taslima Nasrin because she is a living author. So that's another problem, copyright problem. So you have to get permission from the living authors if you really want to translate. For Akil Finanda, it's okay. Some 100 years, 1,000 years, okay. So nobody is going to ask you questions. But for the recent writings, if you're choosing, first thing is your choice, you like it, and the second thing is who is the target audience for whom you are translating. Okay, so there should be some purpose. Another thing is you have to get permission from the writer because you are using his or her work. So you have to be cautious about it. That's what I advise. Okay.
Next question, ma'am. Comment on the role of culture and tradition in translation.
Culture and
Tradition in translation.
so each language has its own culture. Okay, culture is exhibited through language. Okay, so what is culture? How do you know culture? I told you, Tali is your culture. Okay, your Panaimarattukal is a culture. Okay, in village, every language has its own culture, its own flora and fauna, everything related to their life. So language is just a medium of expression of your culture. So every language has its own culture. That's what I told you. Dialect itself is a kind of culture, expressing culture. Madurai Tamil. If somebody says Engittu Poriga, you can very well say he's a Madurai Karan. So the landscape, everything is interrelated. Your culture, your life, way of living, then your landscape, your flora and fauna, everything is related to language. That's why I told you translation is a disciplinary field of linguistic criticism, deconstruction, socialist criticism. From your language, people can understand whether you are a male or a female. There's something called penmoli. So just take the songs of the lyricist of movies. Tamarai writes a she uses very soft words, or songs are very kangal irandal. But when you just listen to the songs written by male lyricist, totally like a kind of different because they use different words. Okay, sometimes harsh words too. But women are like very soft, especially lyricist. Okay, so pen mori. So language has got everything. It contains everything. Your culture, your mentality, your gender, your social status, everything. So language is very important, and we, as translators, we play with language, right? Yeah, when I'm translating Atul Barifin, I'm not dealing with Mark Twain's life or somebody else. I'm dealing with the language of Mark Twain. So tradition and culture, everything is there in language. That's what I said. You have to be aware of the source language culture and the target language culture. You must be thorough with it. Okay. I think I made it clear.
Next question, ma'am.
Yes.
Is poetry translation is really challenging, ma'am?
Of course, really challenging. Poetic translation is the highest, the complex thing. Okay, I must say it has got the highest challenge. Very tough to translate. As I told you, you can translate to some extent the meaning, the content, but you can't translate the spirit and the soul of the poet. It's very tough. But you should have the poetic sense, poetic talent. Then only you can do it. Basically, if you have the habit of writing poems in your mother tongue, then you can do it. I told you, no, you have to go for the refined words, not simple words. So I told you, sound of music. Sound means sabdam. If you say give saptam, sattam, it's like not good in poems. You have to go for a kind of like nadam, geedam. So you should be thorough with the exact words, more number of words. So poetic translation, translating poetry is really challenging, complex thing. So you have to have patience. It should not be not for the sake of publishing it or something. You should have kind of like a patience towards it, and you have to see how the original poet had used those sentences or figures of speech. You have to observe it. Then you have to translate. So it's a tough work, but you can do it. If you want, you can do it. I have even started doing it, but I couldn't go to the extent of that level. To some extent, I could bring down the images of Spencer, Keats, and Shelley in my translation. It's possible, but there should be some purpose behind it. Why you're translating? You can first try with one or two lines, figures of speech. Then you can translate. Yes, thank you.
Next question is, what is gloss translation?
Pardon?
Gloss translation.
Lost translation. Lost, L-O-S-T, lost.
GLOSS, gloss translation.
Gloss, glossary. You have to give gloss. That is, I told you, when you are translating something, sometimes you have to, that you can even see in your textbooks. You have a glossary, right? So, if you're translating text with glossary, text and glossary, you have to translate that also, because even in English, in part 2 English classes, we come across the text, the lesson, and behind that you have the glossary. Glossary is to explain the difficult words of that lesson. The same kind of thing you have to give in your translation also, to explain the difficult things that you have used in the thing. Glossary, gloss translation. Okay? Yes. Anything else? And this is the book I was talking about. Sorry, this is the book, Toto Shan. So better you, this is actually from Japanese. Janelil Oru Sirimi. Okay, Toto Shan. This is done by Valli Nayagam. Tamil in Tamil. Okay, this is a wonderful book. And this book, last year I translated. The original is this, Role of Women in Curative Care. It's a collection of essays by cancer survivor. And I translated the entire book as Nalam Penudalil Angayar Thangai. So this is translated by me, entire book last year. Okay, so this is very not very tough, but to some extent, like some essays are not linear. They have flashback techniques also. So let's look at I mean, the number of pages. This is English, this is Tamil. So Tamil needs more extensive usages. So this is Tamil, the same book I translated into Tamil. So now I've translated, finished translating Atul Pariksham. Okay, so you are patient, you can do it. If you want to translate it for your students, well and good, you can do it. Okay, your motive should be good, that's all. Not for any other objective, okay, not for commercial purpose. That can be maybe later. Okay, commercial purpose means you can even go for subtitling. Okay, if you are very close to cine field or this kind of short film making, you can contribute yourself, contribute your work towards subtitling. Okay, that is again a kind of translation. The transcription. Okay, whatever I speak, you give it in the form of sentences. That is again a part of translation. Lots of opportunities in translation field. So you can go. Okay, even in journalism, everywhere, translation is very much needed. So you can go for, as the teachers of English language, you can also do that. Okay, anything else?
Yes, ma'am, one question. If we take the task of translating a text, do we need to take the rights? If yes, from whom?
Yes, from the author. If you're translating from English to Tamil, who is the author of that English text, okay, or the editor? You have to get permission, at least by email. Otherwise, there will be like copy infringement cases, okay, they will file a case. I told you, okay, Taslima Nasrin means if I want to translate, I have to get a permission from Taslima Nasrin herself or from her manager or somebody. So there will be some contact address. They will have their own website, so you can contact them. Okay, I just want to translate. You have to get permission from them, or you can translate. And if you really want to publish it, then you have to get permission. It is actually like stealing the work of somebody. It's not your original work, but you are recreating it. But still, you have to get permission. It's almost like we are giving in our research work, works cited. Why are we giving that? Because we have made use of these works, right? So in our thesis, we are giving quotations, we are actually giving some points, taken from some books or from website. Then finally, works cited list. It's not no more bibliography. It's works cited because we take it from website, interview, from any kind of speeches you take. So you finally give works cited. That means that you have taken your points from this kind of books or the web pages. The same thing is applicable to translation also. When it comes to print, there should be some kind of permission. You should see the thing that you have got permission from the author or whoever is owning the original book. Okay, that's very important. Yes. In my case, this is actually given by the author himself, the cancer survivor. He is a 80-year-old man. He wanted his English book. Actually, he has given how to cope up with the patients. Okay, this is about his wife. He was a cancer survivor, but for a long time, his wife also suffered. Right? So she was the one who was taking care of the cancer survivor. So he wanted to give a kind of like a book to his wife. So role of women in curative care. So more than the patients, the attenders, they also suffer. So he wanted to give a kind of like a thing, and he wanted essays from doctors and everybody. So this is about actually role of women in taking care of the patients. Now it is very much applicable. So when there is a patient, corona patient, more than the patient who is suffering, the people who are attending. So many are losing their lives. Okay, you can see doctors, nurses, they are losing their lives. So they are like the warriors. So this actually was published last year, last May. It was published. So that time it was about the cancer survivor and his wife, and I translated it into Tamil. But now it is applicable to all. Many are taking care of the patients, right? So for this, author himself approached me. Could you translate this for me? So no problem for me. And Huckleberry Finn is an old classic, so nobody is going to question me. So I have not asked for any copyright. But if you are translating the contemporary work, then you have to get permission, copyright permission. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your presentation and your answers, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I will send my PPT to the organizer, and the organizers, please see to it that you are sending it to all the participants. Both the PPT I will send. You can make use of them in your classrooms. I wish you all good luck and try using translation in your classrooms. If you are in autonomous colleges, you can even include, you can have a paper on translation itself, because it's very important for both the students as well as for the teachers. I wish you good luck, and I thank the organizers for having given me this opportunity, and I thank the principal sir and the trustee of Parvati College of Arts and Science. Thank you everyone for your patient listening. Good luck, best wishes, stay safe. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. I am happy to invite our Vice Principal, sir, to deliver the valedictory address.
Happy morning, all of you. I am very happy to be a part and parcel of this webinar conducted by our Department of English, Parvati Arts and Science College, in an innovative topic, translation in translation in practice, with in the perspective of translators. So for 2 days, we had an excellent and competent resource person, Madam Dharani, Assistant Professor and Head, Government Arts College, Abhinashi, Tirupur, and we are extremely fortunate to have such a competent chief guest. She, for 2 days, she has narrated how to translate in an elegant and illustrative manner. So the presentation was very nice, and it has added beauty to our college activities. We are fortunate enough to have such a competent person like our madam. On behalf of the Parvati Arts and Science College management, staff, principal, and students, I extend my gratitude to madam for giving the consent and making this program so lively and so fruitful and productive. Thank you very much, madam. So all the participants, we had nearly 290 participants. So they 362 participants were there. So they all were enriched with your expertise and knowledge. And this has formed as an eye-opener for young teachers like us to how to present a seminar, how to gather the content of the seminar, and everything was very nice, madam. So we had a good opportunity with you. So I am very happy to thank madam for extending her consent and making this program so colorful. Thank you very much, madam. And I thank thank you very much. I thank all the participants for your support and joining with us for the past 2 days. For this past 2 days, I am very happy to thank all the professors, scholars, and the teachers, students who joined us and made this program so viable. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you all the participants. We will send the feedback link to your mail and your Telegram link. Thank you for your support.
For any queries, you can contact us.
For any queries, we have sent the numbers in your mails, so you can contact us. Thank you.